So from science background to business background, from IIT Madras to IIM Bangalore, our speaker today, Ms. Trishna Nair, currently a B School student from IIM Bangalore, who recently got featured in the list of most employable IIM MBA student 2022 by InsideIIM. And today, I am privileged to have this conversation with Ms. Trishna Nair. So, hi Trishna, how are you doing in these trying times?
Hi, Shubhika. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Yeah, moving ahead, so Miss Trishna, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself, like your journey from BTech to MBA, as many of our audience are ex-parents and or from business background. So, means can you guide our audience who are watching this right now and wants to know about your journey and also your reactions when you got your results and you got a call from IIM Bangalore?
Sure. So I studied at IIT Madras. So I my major was chemical engineering, like my BTech, but I also had a minor in industrial engineering. So so actually my work experience, like from the very start, from Wipro, I worked at Wipro Consumer Care after graduating in 2018. So that work experience was actually related to both my major in chemical engineering and my minor industrial engineering. So during that time, I was working in their manufacturing plant in Haridwar. So that time I was working on various projects, like both related to this that plant specifically and projects, nationwide projects. So I have like projects like cost optimization, sustainability, so things like that. All of that I worked on those projects. And so then, like while working there, so I realized that I wanted to learn about all aspects of a supply chain rather than being limited to this. And because that interest had been aroused by my minor in industrial engineering. And so then I also did a few courses online on like edX and Coursera on supply chain. I said like, okay, I want to explore this more. So I joined Meba Consulting. That's a supply chain consulting firm. So I worked with various clients on mainly supply chain related projects, like again cost optimization, redesigning the warehouse, or redesigning the supply chain network for to account for their growth and things. So that was my, and then after that, so even there I was feeling the need that when I'm working on these projects, even if they're just mainly related to supply chain, I still need an understanding of all aspects of a business, which I felt was lacking. So that is how I was like, okay, I will do an MBA. And so I decided to do an MBA, and then I got into IIM Bangalore, which I was of course very happy about. Which was this was also very exciting because I'd not expected to actually I had not put in much effort for CAT that year. I'd actually planned to prepare very well the next year, but that actually happened. I cleared CAT and I got a call, and I was able to get through. So I was actually very happy about that. My parents were also very happy, of course. So,
Yeah, of course, that is a great achievement indeed, and congratulations for that. And also, you got featured in Inside IIM as a most employable MBA graduate 2022. So that is also a huge achievement. Even myself, I am from science background. I have done my graduation in BSc chemistry, and now I am pursuing MBA in lovely professional university, so that I can relate with you, like the need of MBA, right?
right,
So
yes.
yeah. So Trishna, can you tell us about what inspires you the most, or your past experience that you feel have changed your life?
Okay. So I would say that experiences that have changed my life, I would like apart from like right after graduation, actually working. So I think like when I first started working, so I was posted in Haridwar. So and I never lived say like in a like lived on my own, and because I was at home till I was in class 12, and then I was at the hostel, college hostel. So this was the first time say I was living on my own, and actually having to do everything on my own. And plus this is pretty far. My parents are in Gujarat, so this was pretty far from home as well. So so I actually, and then I fell ill, I had typhoid and all that. So then like so that experience, actually managing everything on my own, I think that was one thing. Then like, and actually all my the various projects that I did say at work also. So like one project that I did at Wipro was actually related to sustainability. So this was replacing like packaging for all products. Like this packaging was more damaging to the environment, replacing it with an environment friendly option. So this was a project I led across all plants in India. So this I had to work with various teams, like say the R&D team, to figure out what kind of material to replace it with, and then like actually run pilot runs with the production team, like the getting the material with the procurement team. So and this lasted for almost a year. So this was something that, so this was a huge learning experience, and I think managing everything and like actually persevering through everything for 1 year, so that was also something that I feel like one of the experiences that changed my life.
Wow, that's great. Even in my BSc final year, I have done a project from green chemistry. So I have replaced diesel with the I had made diesel from vegetable oil. So
Oh, that's lovely.
that is yeah. So now coming forward, Trisha, can you means as I mentioned that you are currently a PGP student at IIM Bangalore. So you might have cracked NEET and your score is 99.79 percentile. So would you tell us that whenever you felt demotivated, means what kept you motivated and your time management in preparations?
Okay. So, first looking at demotivation, like demotivation, there is sort of like the instant, like in the short term and long term kind of thing. So, in the short term, what I do is say I talk to a friend, or I love reading. So, maybe I read something, or I just talk to somebody, or I maybe just sleep for that moment. And like long term, when I think about it, so I also try to think about what my, like why I'm working towards this, why that goal is important. But in that instant, like when I'm demotivated because of something, that time I'm not able to think of much except my sadness. So it's a bit difficult to think of everything that time. But also after some time, I try to think about why I'm doing this, and then like all of the challenges that I have overcome in coming this far. So this, I mean, throughout my, I mean, so I'm like 25 now. So I mean, there have been a bunch of challenges that I have had to overcome. So I try to think of all these challenges and how I overcame them. So, and try to take inspiration from that. That okay, I got over that, then I can get over this as well. So
Yeah, and how would you manage your time? Means I am sure that every MBA student he has his studies, also projects, life projects, internships. So how you manage your time in this?
So I would say, I mean, it is all mainly like MBA. That is one skill you pick up in your MBA, like prioritizing, because there are so many, which I'm sure you are also experiencing.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that you have to do. So then, I mean, it's more on a day by day basis. Like just make a list of things to do and decide what is most important right now. So like there are sometimes, so like say there are a lot of case competitions. So there is some time when case competitions take priority. There's some time when say academics take priority, especially when it's close to say your midterms or end terms. Or sometimes like it's just you just feel like you've put in a lot of work and then you just want to chill. So that, I mean, even that becomes a priority. So it's just your priorities keep changing. So it's more on a day by day basis, I guess.
Yeah, right. And means what changes have you experienced yourself while doing MBA from IIM? Means I'm doing MBA from lovely professional university Jalandhar. So what changes IIM student MBA student feels in his life?
Okay. So I would, a few changes, like I've gone through a lot of changes actually, but some major changes that I would talk about first would be, of course, improve like their ability to prioritize and manage my time, because there are, like we just talked about, because there are so many things to do, you have to be able to do that. Like even earlier with work, so there were like I had like mainly my main priority would be my work. So I mean that, and of course with work, like I had to juggle various projects and all. But this MBA, you're at a different headspace altogether, because it's so time crunched. Like everything happens so fast. So then you really need to be able to learn to prioritize and manage your time. Then I would say I've become more confident in like both professionally and personally. Like professionally, it feels like I feel like okay, I know a lot more now. Like I know a lot more, so I'm like my opinion and my knowledge and all that is more valid now. So I like more confidence, say speaking up and all of that. And personally, also, I would say that like MBA, given that it is so hectic and so crunch for time, so then it's often stressful in a lot of situations. So I mean, I'm not like you. Of course, I will have more of these situations in the future, and I'm not 100% equipped that sure that I will be completely okay. But I still know that I've gone through these situations, so I've developed some, especially some ability to deal with such situations. Feel that. And then my exchange semester was like I went on an exchange semester to Europe. So that was a huge learning experience because the only other country I'd been to was Singapore other than India. So this is the first time I was actually going to so many countries, meeting people from so many cultures. So that actually, I mean, so that actually put a lot of things in perspective. Like we are just so there is so the world is so much bigger. Like, and I also developed an understanding of global businesses and that. So that was also a huge learning experience.
Yeah, it is right. And according to me, getting out of your comfort zone is what makes you stand out, right, in the corporate world. Yeah. And also, is actually, I am honored to have you here, and who is so helping for MBA students and to increase their reading habits. So, Trishna, would you please guide us and our audience about the reading habit, which I feel is the must for every MBA student?
Sure. So personally, I love reading, and this has been something that's been part of my life since childhood. But then, like, so when I so now more especially when the pandemic started, and so like a lot more people got into reading, and a lot more people say reached out to me because they knew I love reading. So about how they could read and that. So I would say that I mean start with something that you like and start with something easy. So say you like sports or you so then you maybe start with a sports person's biography. Start with a genre that based on like your field of interest. So I would say start with that and like start with short stories or fiction. So because that is more absorbing, that will engage you more. That is easier to start with. And then I would also recommend if you want, you can even look at say comic books or graphic novels because that has both the visual apart from the text. So that's the closest thing to say a TV series or a film that you get in the form of a book. So starting with something like that, and then it'll take some time to actually develop a real interest in that. But and actually, one more thing that is that because initially our reading speed is lower, so then we feel that we're not actually being able to read much, we're not making much progress. So here I think that having that patience also, it'll take some time, but as long as you're enjoying what you're reading, it is okay. And a lot of people say fiction does not add value and all of that, but that's not true. I mean, with fiction you actually tend to become more creative, more imaginative, and plus as you're reading, if you're even with fiction, as your reading speed and ability increases, so that will help in all your MBA readings as well. So yeah.
Right. And any suggestions which you would like to give MBA students in any book suggestion?
Book suggestions? Not really. Because I mainly read fiction,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm not very much very comfortable reading non-fiction. It takes me a lot of time, so even I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, but fictions are also good books. Like, means as you mentioned that imagination power increases. Yeah.
Right.
So moving ahead, would you like to please share about your work experience? As you mentioned, you have worked with a reputed organizations, and how it helped you building leadership quality and importance of teamwork in your life.
Sure. So first looking at leadership quality, so I would say mainly I like say at Wipro I led a bunch of projects. So like say the one project I led. So there I had to deal with people across the hierarchy, ranging from a plant operator to the CEO. So I mean I had to interact with all of them. Like say if my project I need to get that approved, say from my manager whatever I'm doing, or like so they all need to my manager the CEO all need to be on board with my plan. So I'm interacting with the management, persuading them, influencing them. And then I also, but for actual implementation, I need to work with everybody who's working in the plant. So that includes, say, the plant manager, plant operators, and all. I mean, that was a huge learning experience in the sense figuring out how to convince them, how to convey what your message is. So that communication skills is also a huge part of leadership, I feel. And then, of course, working with all of them, they improved all of my people skills, this ability to convey that to them. I mean, of course, there were times when I felt like, means when the project wasn't working out or when there were hiccups. But I mean, all of those were also huge learning experiences. And teamwork, of course, so this is also part of teamwork, wherein I had to work with diverse teams. And especially consulting, also teamwork was very important because you are working with your team to say solve the problem of a Fortune 500 company. So then, I mean, so that time you need to be able to, learn things quickly and then like figure out how to complement each other's skill sets to in order to sort of give them the best possible solution. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is right. And means, would you, in your future, would you like to share that what are your future plans? Like, would you prefer to join an MNC or start your own startup, or as you mentioned, a professional consultant?
So yeah, I will be joining a consulting firm only this so after my graduation. So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, it was great honor to have you with us, Ms. Trishna, and hope this session was a great motivation for all of our audience, especially me. I enjoyed it and lot to learn. And yes, you were right. Reading habits are really needs to change and our personality. So thank you once again, Trishna, and all the best for your future.
thank you so much for having me.